Hello and welcome to ICEFS, which is Improving Spoken English in the Free State. I'd like to look briefly at auxiliary verbs. A sentence that I frequently hear is one such as the following: I will help you soon. Technically, that is incorrect. It should in fact be I shall help you soon. The shall in this case is the future form of the auxiliary verb, but more about that later. The point to mention here is that this is a difficult habit to develop, but it makes such a great impression. If, for example, you are going for an interview, let us imagine that you are a student at school and you are applying to be admitted to a really fancy school. If you are able to use such correct English, the principal will be so impressed and he is likely to admit you to that school. But that's not all. What about if you are in later life applying for a job? Once again, English is a very important skill to have, and it's a very difficult one to learn, as I am well aware. Now, in order to understand this more fully, let us look at verbs. We all know in primary school we were taught that verbs are doing words and that you cannot have a sentence without a verb. That is absolutely correct. Many times, however, in the sentence you are going to find auxiliary verbs. Now, your auxiliary verbs can be defined as your little helping verbs. Some examples: am, are, be, can, could, had, has, have, is, was, were, will, would, and there are many others. They are, of course, specific to tense, number, and person, but they alter the meaning of sentences in other ways as well. Here is an example that I frequently hear in the classroom. Sir, can I go to the bathroom? Now, of course, as a cynical, grey-bearded English teacher, I reply, you can, but you may not. Please note the different auxiliary verbs being used there. Can I go to the bathroom actually implies that the child in question was asking if he is capable of going to the bathroom. My answer cynically reminds him that he used the wrong auxiliary verb, because I replied, you can, but you may not. You may not, of course, means you are not allowed to go to the bathroom. But don't worry, I'm not that cruel. Normally, I do eventually permit them to go after having taught them that very important lesson in English. Now, please note that in English we have three persons. The first person is I, me, we, us. The second person, in both singular and plural form, is you. And the third person is he, she, or it in the singular, and they in the plural. These are important definitions to know. If, for example, we are dealing with the third person, let us say that the sentence is, he is helping her. That is the present continuous tense. Please note the auxiliary verb to be used there is. In the past tense, he was helping her. In the future, he will be helping her. Now, in each case there, of course, I'm using the continuous form, which, if you are an American, you will call the progressive form of the tense. Now here, we'll go to the second person, which involves the use of the word you. In the present tense, it will sound like this: you are helping him. In the past tense, it will be you were helping him. And in the future tense, you will say you will be helping him. Excellent. Now comes the confusion as we get into the first person. In the present tense, we will say, I am helping you. In the past tense, I was helping you. But in the future, and here comes the unusual use of the auxiliary verb, I shall be helping you. Remember this. The first person requires the auxiliary verb shall in the future. Let's look at the same thing in the plural form. If we use the third person, they will be helping you. In the second person, you will be helping them. But in the first person, we shall be helping you. Remember that. The first person, whether singular or plural, whether you're talking about I or we, if you are talking about something in the future, you must always use the word shall.